Nikola Motors announced earnings, and they had their earnings call yesterday, and we did get to learn some new information regarding partnership with General Motors. What is going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Before we go any farther, I just have to do a quick PSA. Once again, I need to remind you that we are doing a giveaway once we get to 250 subscribers. So if you are not already subbed, goes without saying, you might as well think about doing it, because we're going to be doing a giveaway once we get to 250 subs for an Amazon gift card. All right, that's it for the PSA. We're going to jump right into the news. And the first thing that we have to talk about, we're not putting it on the back burner or anything like that. We need to address the big elephant in the room, and that is Nikola Motors announced earnings, and they had their earnings call yesterday, and we did get to learn some new information regarding the partnership with General Motors, stuff about the Badger, and just kind of the trajectory and where Nikola thinks that they are going to be going in the future. And I'm going to preface it saying, I think that it was a pretty boring earnings call. I didn't listen to it. I have the highlights, and I'm going to actually read a little article or a snippet from a Yahoo Finance article. I don't normally read things straight up verbatim, so if you want to hit on my second grade reading level, go right ahead. So I'm going to put up on screen right now and read along with you guys, and we're going to discuss, break it down, and what we kind of think this means for Nikola going forward in the short term as well as in the long term. So when we get into this, actually, before I do start reading, I want to mention that they did beat analyst estimates in their earnings per share. They came in at a 0.16 earnings per share. That's in the negative, obviously, because there's zero revenue. It's a zero revenue company, pre-revenue company, and they are relying on being able to bring their vehicles to market. So with that being said, now let's get into this article. So there's some talk, basically. This is from Mark Russell, who is the Nikola CEO, said that going at it alone was our base plan before we had the GM discussions. We have a fuel cell program that we have been working on with Bosch for a number of years. We obviously have a battery program. I don't know about that. A lot of people kind of argue, beg to differ, but we are planning going into production with our own battery electric vehicles. That will be our base plan. We would love to have access to GM's lithium ion battery. Both of us have a substantial technology and promise. But if we don't, we'll have a base plan and can go to market on here on our own if we have to, explained Russell. So before we continue reading, I just kind of have to break down what he said. So basically, he's kind of again touting that Nikola has technology in the battery capacity or battery area. And I think that this is interesting because if they really did have such great battery technology, I don't understand the reason why then they need to partnership so much with General Motors, because to me, the big thing it seemed like that they were gaining out of this General Motors partnership was the GM capabilities underneath the hood, in particular, like for the Badger. So it very much appeared to everybody, investors and people who were following the story, that Nikola was going to be using all of General Motors tech, from the battery to the self-driving assist to basically everything under the hood. The only thing that Nikola was going to be providing was essentially the body of the truck. So this, I feel like, kind of contradicts that a little bit. And I don't know if anybody has seen, let me know in the comments below, link it, if we have actually seen Nikola proprietary technology, their own battery tech in action. Let me know. Maybe it's out there, maybe it exists. As far as I know, they don't have anything proprietary. They've just been kind of using other people's stuff as they build these prototypes and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to continue going on here in the article. The go-it-alone plan for Nikola likely means no Badger pickup truck and a clear focus on making battery and hydrogen-powered Class 8 trucks. So that would be the semi-truck line or area. It could also mean a capital raise sometime in 2021 as pre-revenue Nikola burns through cash to build out its truck manufacturing capabilities. It says, Russell, on the potential capital raise, we have said in our investor materials for some time, most of the year actually, and this is true, I do back them up on this, that they would need to raise more capital. That would involve an equity raise. and that would be sometime in the next 12 to 18 months. We do that as an opportunity or opportunistically based on market conditions, so stand by on that. That's going to be our plan. We will plan to go back to the market and ask for one more tranche of equity, and we will do that when the conditions are best for that. So that is a statement that I will give credit. They have been transparent on the fact that they think they are going to need to go back for more funding, which I think is quite obvious when you're a pre-revenue company just absolutely burning through cash. Granted, the cash burn wasn't as bad in Q3 as was anticipated by experts, but still burning cash nonetheless. And obviously, I feel like a lot of this stuff has kind of been punted down the line in their capabilities, actually being able to bring things to market because of the virus. So supply chains for every company have kind of been disrupted. So basically the big takeaways that I think we can get from this is you kind of have a scenario where GM and Nikola are telling you one thing, but I think you have to step back and look at it differently, kind of from like an investor perspective and say, here's all the things that Nikola has said in the past, and this is where it hasn't panned out. So we need to keep that in the back of our mind when we hear anything from Nikola Motors. And they basically are saying, hey, this deal with General Motors doesn't have to happen for us to be successful. And agree or disagree. Basically, this to me kind of sends up some red flags. I mean, obviously there's been plenty of red flags here in the past couple of months, in particular, with the departure of Trevor Milton. You have the Hindenburg report and all this stuff. So I think the fact that they are continuing to basically downplay and almost set expectations that they aren't going to be doing a deal with General Motors is I think definitely a sure sign that more than likely a deal is not going to be happening. And if it does at this point, I think it's definitely going to surprise me. December 3rd is again that deadline where the two parties really need to come to terms. And if not, then, they're walking away. And that deadline is quickly approaching. And like a lot of you have said, there are some stock options for a lot of the heads of Nikola to where they essentially would stand to benefit from continuing to draw out these talks, kind of lead investors along and, potentially be able to sell when the market is favoring them. Because if you guys remember, even though Nikola's share price is super beat down compared to, its highs from when it like IPO'd, it got up to almost $100, which is ridiculous. But even before they went public and they did the reverse merger and all this stuff, their share price, their IPO list was like $10 a share. So a lot of these people are essentially standing to double their money, once the deadline and the date comes to pass where they can actually exercise and sell their shares. So we need to keep that in the back of our mind where it's like, is this just one of those things everybody says pump and dump? It's definitely a prove me story at this point with Nikola Motors. I think they have lost the right for us to trust them on face value. If you have a company like Apple telling you one thing and promising stuff, that is a lot different than a company like Nikola at this point. So that is my disclaimer. That is my 2 cents. They also basically said, they mentioned in the earnings call that Trevor Milton had been subpoenaed by it was like either the SEC or the Department of Justice, but yes, investigations continue into Nikola. So I don't think you really want to be a shareholder kind of when a lot of that stuff comes down and the hammer drops. But if you do, you don't want to risk your play, hey, maybe it's something you're looking for. But as far as what I'm doing in the current market, I went out today and Zoom continues to get smacked into the ground. It is obliterated the past couple of days with the news of this vaccine and whatnot. Zoom is down $200 from its all-time high. So naturally, my response was to go out and buy one share, right? We slowly buy the bottom, guys. You slowly get the companies that interest you, a share here, a share there, it all adds up. And then before you know it, 5 years time, you have a nice, beautiful return on your money. So I went out and bought myself a share of Zoom today, $200 off the high. So we're gonna have to see what that does. So definitely I am doing what I am preaching to you guys. I am putting my money where my mouth is, and I am going out and continuing to kind of look for deals in tech that is pulling back. Tech is absolutely the sector that is pulling back right now. Money is coming out of tech and pouring into, recovery stocks, I think you could say, kind of, your brick and mortar stores, your retailers, as well as the airlines. My gosh, the airlines are killing it. Boeing, oh my gosh, Boeing is taking off. Boeing is a company that I really, really like. I bought it back in March, and I actually sold it a couple months ago, actually, to clear up some cash to go in and buy some more big tech and stuff like that. So anyways, there's a lot of value plays out there, guys. Definitely do your research. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a solid and drop a like, leave a sub if you haven't already. Let me know what you're thinking, feeling down in the comments below regarding the market conditions. Do you think now is the right time to maybe thinking, about to start buy big tech? My gosh, I am fumbling all over my words. I don't know if I'm ever going to read an article again. Please do not blast me in the comments below for my reading level, okay? I don't do much outspoken reading. It's all internal processing. So that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll hit you with a fun fact tomorrow. Don't worry. I mean, it's getting to be a long video, so I can't do one every single day. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.